Probably almost high enough for my usually. Go a little bit more around here.
We finished our last scenario, which was the first scenario of the Damnatio Memoriae fan campaign by Hank Bellinger. I did some editing of it. I'm Patrick. The scenario we just wrapped up was called Dead Man's Switch. We are starting the second scenario, whose name I'll tell you at the end. It is mid-August 2020. COVID-19 lockdowns have been in effect since March. 1,000 people die from the disease every day. Social distancing and masking are still heavily socially enforced in Washington. Unemployment is the highest since the Great Depression, and Americans are still cooped up at home. Black Lives Matter protests continue across the country. Jimmy, how is Moorison spending his lockdown?
So I think because he lives in a small town, kind of northeast of Seattle, he can probably still get out and go on trails because he's not around anyone. But beyond that, he wanted to work on some of his skills, specifically because he's a biathlon guy and a coach. He wanted to work on his motivational speaking, which I put down as like persuade. So I imagine he's probably like watching a lot of videos on like how to motivate people, maybe like networking with other coaches.
For dummies.
Yeah.
From the library.
Talking with other coaches about how do you, get your people motivated. And then he's doing a lot of like talking to himself in the mirror. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it? No, not that last one.
I love it.
And then the other skill he wanted to work on was military science C. This didn't really come up before, but he was in the military and he has quite a bit of skill in land military science, but he's like, I live near the coast. This should probably brush up on some of the sea stuff too.
Yeah, don't forget, you can also improve your core stats: strength, dex, con, int, power, charisma. That is also on the table.
I thought about charisma, but his isn't that good, and I didn't know as one more point in charisma, assuming I even pass, would be worth it. So, although I guess it would be a 50 or a 60 instead, because you increase the base, right?
Yeah, the base.
So instead of an 11, it would be
12.
That's all right.
How are you improving your military science C?
Probably just reading a whole lot, like a lot of just like books about historical sea battles, looking up stuff about like tactics, things like that. Probably not necessarily like swimming skills and stuff like that, although I guess, he could.
There's a lot of United States Navy handbooks and training guides available on .gov sites.
Yep, field manuals and stuff like that you can find if you look around for them. Yep.
What is your military science C at right now?
It's 0.
So
I have 60 in land.
Okay.
Yes. Is that different?
I don't know.
Okay.
I love that you're doing military science C, the most useful skill in Delta Green.
Well, so what I had originally proposed was like, can I stay on the case for this operation we're going to do and look into things and be like, what's the layout of this island? Like, if we know that we're going to prepare for this thing, like, what's the history of the place? What's, there? Look at like, if there's any kind of tourism board stuff, what kind of industry they have, and then like geographic layouts. But it sounds like that was,
I love that. And I want you to do that. You haven't got the mission yet. Do it on mission time.
Yeah, perfect. That makes sense.
Yeah, sure. You can learn military science C. Get ready to get
not much points.
3d6 percentage points to that skill.
Hell yeah.
It's it's more than 0.
Before you roll this, we never really discussed on Mike who Moorison is, what he used to do, what he does do outside of Delta Green. What is your background?
So essentially he was in, I don't think I ever really specified, but I just put former military, but I'm going to say Army. Did maybe like 6 years, did some kind of like essentially I based him on like the special operator class, so essentially like special operations stuff. Did his 6 years, got out when he was still relatively young. He got really into skiing, and with his background in like special operations and firearms, he was really drawn to biathlons. So he got really into biathlons. I looked this up at some point, but I forgot now. He would be like a little bit on the older side, but still within the age range to be like Olympic level biathlete. Got really into that.
Olympic level biathlete?
I had put Olympic biathlete in my history, so I didn't expound upon that much.
Awesome.
And I didn't.
Are you famous?
No, I don't think.
No.
I mean, can anyone here name
any
a single
famous
biathlete?
Olympic biathlete.
Yeah, name the top
famous or
10 Olympic
otherwise.
biathletes.
As far as
in the-
coaches go, right?
Yeah.
You know, somebody sought out for tutelage.
In the
Mhm.
biathlete community, you are perhaps a household name, or at least like even odds of knowing, right?
Yeah, you know, I imagine it's one of those communities that, like, viewed from the outside, you're like, I don't really know much about this, but probably within it, it's probably pretty small, and probably any like big biathlete thing, you're gonna know 70% of the people there by name, if not like personally.
Sure. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Roll those bones. Let's start with your persuade.
Let's write this down because
So actually, for the listeners following along at home, we're doing personal pursuits straight from the agent's handbook of the game. In downtime between scenarios, home scenes, little vignettes get played out in Delta Green games where you show the everyday reality of these people. What Agent Moorison is doing is taking the improved skills or stats personal pursuit. By training or studying extensively, the agent can try to boost 2 separate skills or stats by attempting to roll under their stat. If they fail a check, he gets to add 3d6 percentile to the skill. If he passes, he gets nothing. So, did you pass Persuade?
I rolled a 29 on a 24, so I did not pass. I failed.
So you failed it, which is what you
Yes.
wanted. Great.
Yes. Yep.
3d6, roll it.
That is 16, right? Yeah, 16, which is pretty
Damn.
good. 2 6s and a 4.
Hot
Hell
dice,
yeah.
hot dice.
Nice.
So I have.
Damn.
So that would put me up to 40 from a 24.
That's
Look
pretty
at
good.
You.
Yeah, I'll take
Beautiful.
it.
Now, give me that.
Military science C.
Roll military science C for me.
I rolled 88 on a 0.
So you critically fail.
Yeah,
You get 3d6. You don't get the max. That'd be really
Damn, that would
funny,
be
though.
sick.
it would be funny. I got 4.
4. That makes sense to me, frankly, given that you're starting at 0 and you're doing this
Yeah.
at home during lockdown
Yeah,
alone.
by myself. Yeah.
You
Or-
bought an
or-
inflatable raft. That's what it
Yeah.
comes down
Yeah,
to.
right.
Yeah. Actually, who are you spending lockdown with?
So that would basically just be my wife, Sarah Brown,
Awesome.
and that's
Yeah.
probably it.
Yeah. So each increase to a stat or skill reduces 1 bond by 1 as you let other responsibilities lapse. Who are you neglecting to learn 4 points of military science C?
You know, as far as bonds, I have my wife, who I'm mainly spending lockdown with, and then also my brother, Charlie.
Maybe you're not calling Charlie as much as you could
Yeah,
be.
or not like hanging out with him, since like I'm technically not supposed to like go out and be with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
So I would lose 2 from him, like 1 for each skill.
You could pick 1 from your wife. You could pick
Okay.
2 from Charlie. You can split it up however you like.
Okay. I'll say 2 from Charlie.
Sounds good. Hey, Nick, I'm getting like a ton of like hissing or static or something from my thing
Really?
your mic. It's gone.
Fixed it. Yeah, I think it's
Um,
just picking up the environment.
Yeah, it's
Really?
yeah.
That's strange.
Is it showing anything when you're not talking on your little bar?
Looks like it. Let me see. That's unusual.
Seems like the gain's just maybe really high.
You might have just been a little louder than usual.
Hot mic. I mean, it's glowing orange, so that should have been our
Yeah,
first
that's a lot better.
hint.
Weird. Am I loud enough or?
Yeah, you're great.
Yeah,
you sound
okay, you're
exactly as loud
Yeah.
as you used to. It's just the ambient is gone.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah. So Agent Moorison is neglecting his relationship with his brother to read up on naval military history and to take self-help courses in motivational speaking. What a way to spend lockdown. Nick, what is Miles up to? And again, I don't think we really talked too much about who Miles is or was before becoming an agent, so let's talk a little bit about that too.
Yeah, Miles is an associate laboratory director for national security at the Pacific Northwest Laboratory, and he spends most of his time in Seattle, but also goes to Richmond, Washington for some nuclear facilities. His education is in chemical physics, so he oversees a lot of the field operations and foreign intelligence analysis of things like nuclear, chemical, and biological technologies. And more recently, he's been getting into things about HAB, so harmful algae in the Pacific Northwest.
Awesome. Yeah. So it sounds like he's not just a suit in a administrative role. He is somebody with doctoral degrees in this field, doing stuff at a technical level.
Yeah, he got his PhD at UW for chemical physics, and before that, he was in chemical engineering at Stanford. And he spends his lockdown, mostly doing what he always did before. He's working remotely now, but his morning runs are less about fitness during the lockdown and more about calibration. They're still 5 miles long around Seward Park, and he kind of uses that run to disperse the ideas and the stress of being locked in his house. Sometimes he takes his son, whose name is Wintao, in a stroller and pushes him in front of him as a little passenger in his orbit. But the whole time he's calculating what 6 feet is as he's running by people and sticks to the strict guidelines. Most of the time he'll wear a mask on his runs as well if it's a little busy. If it's not and it's early morning, he takes it off. And yeah, the returning home for him is almost like an airlock procedure. He'll strip off some of his clothes, wash his hands immediately. He usually tosses away the N95 mask. He doesn't wear the washable ones. And, he greets his wife, Zhao Mei, and, she usually has a coffee and a tired smile for him. And they don't necessarily talk a lot about the pandemic itself. They're just kind of managing themselves and the chaos in a controlled environment. So they have this bubble of logic that they've built, and they're trying to keep the outdoors out.
Yeah. No, I love it. That all makes sense. Is it one of those jogging strollers?
Oh, yeah. Bob. So
yeah.
It's a Bob. Yeah.
Very good. All right. So what is your personal pursuit for these couple of months?
Yeah, it's really just fulfill responsibilities.
Okay.
So
yeah,
just honing in on the new parenthood, and then the relationship with his wife as she's still recovering from her C-section.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Give me a sand check.
Okay. 85 over 67.
All right. Failure on this check adds 1 to your bond with your wife. A success would have improved it by 1d6. A critical success would have also given you a point of sanity, and a fumble would have meant some disastrous conflict, reducing your bond by a d4.
Great. Yeah.
So
I'll take the one. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Beats the alternatives. Jordan, who is and was Magpie?
Yeah. Magpie was, a bit of a gifted lad. He was at home a lot while his foreign dignitary parents were abroad. And his kind of measure was academic and athletic, and about his ability to perform against his parents' expectations. And so when they said reach for the stars, he took them pretty literally, and he was on a trajectory towards working for NASA, trying to get a position on a space shuttle. And so he enrolled in the Navy, working on a naval vessel. He took his GI Bill, went to college, getting into the medical field, going to medical school, goes back into rotation on the Navy, does a second tour as in the medical facility there. And as he is starting to apply for flight school to earn his pilot's license, he learns that he is absolutely motion sick when it comes to flying. And his dreams are kind of shattered where he stands. And that's about where we find him at the beginning of the 2020 lockdown, where he's really trying to figure out how he can pivot his career choices and his frustrations into something more profitable. And so he's looking to kind of specialize into private security for people who are medically compromised, especially. And I think that might be why Madison and or Moorison may have sought him out in particular, as it seems like Mull and some of the other boys, but Mull in particular is maybe a little unstable and might need a little more looking after than your average bear. And so trying to over the course of this lockdown, trying to look the part, put some things on my resume, some certifications in firearms, and more in pharmaceuticals.
Awesome. Yeah. How are you practicing pharmaceuticals and firearms during the lockdown? Because I believe we discussed your living situation. You live on a floating house?
Floating home, yeah, on Lake Union, just a scooter's ride away from where we met at the original meet point. I stay there with my sister, which has been a couple years in the making, and by the end of this is a couple years in the breaking, and we'll see how breaky it gets as I kind of try to turn our place into like a Navy SEALs training ground, right? I got a VR headset taking up like the biggest room of the house, and I threaten to break through the glass door every single day in that one. I'm dry fire practice with a laser training trigger. I got, we're running drills, malfunctions, and maintenance. There's a little RC boat that one of the kids likes to drive around, and I'm popping shots at it with a airsoft pellet on the lake. It hasn't sunk yet, so we got an OK thing going. And then on account of I was causing so much of a stir up in his living situation, driving my sister mad, she actually put my email address in on all the mailing letters on all the pharmaceuticals. And so I started getting all the promotional materials. Now I got free sample packets of SSRIs and little trifold booklets out the ass. And so I do go ahead and get to reading on some of those, and I start contacting some of the people who authored them, and the people that co-peer review studies and things like that, and building a little community in there.
New guidelines, new drugs, just keeping yourself up to date.
Yeah, as bleeding edge as you can get from a paper cut on one of these things.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that sounds good. Give me a check on firearms, and then give me a check on pharmacy.
Okay. Yeah, so neither of these is a sure thing. Firearms, we're looking for a 60, and a 95 will do just about anything for us.
Yeah.
Do you want to see that 3d6 then?
Yes, please.
All right, 3d6 coming at you. 14, we take those. So that's
holy shit,
60 up to 74.
Jesus Christ. That you get real familiar with that airsoft pistol.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm doing the in and out of the magazine so many times.
Drops.
Right, and I'm only discharging one pellet every time, and my neighbor comes out and he's like, "You're gonna clean those up, right?" Because there's just a pool of 700 of them that have pebbled up in our little nook there.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, okay.
Okay,
give me that pharmacy.
Pharmacy. 61 is more than 40, and 3d6 is looking like 12.
All right,
Nice.
That's pretty good. All right.
I ain't complaining.
Now, so we talked a little bit earlier today about how you don't have any firearms actually listed on your sheet with a 60 firearms. Did you want to go ahead and try to obtain a restricted weapon.
Yeah. Yeah, we're doing a little time jump back in time to see how if I was able to like flesh out my personal armory with a little bit of the U.S. national supply.
Yeah. Do you want to have stolen a fully automatic submachine gun from the United States Navy
Hell yeah.
armory?
Why, yes, Patrick, I do want that.
Okay. What skill are you going to try and do this with?
Yeah, so I understand, I don't really know how it works, but I do understand that at the end of each spending period, they're looking to re-up budgets, and so a bunch of inflated spending comes through, and they just slam, yes, green, green, green on anything that comes through. And so I understand where the cracks are, I try and make an inflated order, and I try and see that one of those kind of, slips off into the shadows, and I pick it up.
Sounds good. What
So
skill?
bureaucracy, I apologize, we were
Very
getting
good.
there.
And what do you have in bureaucracy?
It's a 40.
All right. And if you fail this is like jail.
Yeah, no, I do understand that. This is kind of at the crash out period, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
So
This is right after you find out that you puke in planes and you're like, fuck, I'm out.
right,
Better get while the getting's good.
right. There's a bit of they would have spent it on something dumber than this anyway.
Yeah, why not me?
And I'm owed this, and just I've hit an
Years of
unofficial
my
breaking
life.
point.
Years of my life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, here we go. 31 is under 40.
That is
Wow.
good enough on your sheet. So you have stolen you've stolen an unusual expense restricted weapon. Good for you. You've
I'm
had it
feeling
this whole
pretty cool
time.
about that.
You've had it this whole time. Yeah, I think put it on your sheet. It's straight out of the book. You have you've got an MP9 fully automatic submachine gun. The skill is your firearm skill. It's got a base range of 50. It does a D10 if you're firing it in single shot mode, or 10% lethality if firing bursts. It has an ammo cap of 30. It's also super illegal. Do not get caught with this.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
In
well, I
fact,
do walk
where
a
do
little
you-
taller.
Hell yeah.
You keep talking about how you take Lime scooters everywhere. Do you have a car?
Funny. Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Okay,
We
okay,
share
okay.
one. She commutes in the normal time.
What kind of car is it?
Golly.
Just curious.
Yeah, no,
I
I
want to
can tell
picture you driving
curious.
around in it.
Yeah, I think it was decidedly not my choice, and so I really don't get along with it. It's one of those 2-seater hatchbacks. One of those ones that makes you go like, now how on earth did somebody design a car like that? Who was this for? Lo and
It's like
behold,
a
it's for
pacer
me.
or a gremlin.
Apparently. Yeah, right.
Awesome. Where are you keeping your stolen United States Navy restricted SMG?
Is this just like normal everyday
Day-to-day,
business? Or
and how you take
carrying?
it to missions.
yeah,
Carrying, you've got it it's got a carrying kit, like a Pelican case, I'm sure.
sure. Yeah, it goes in a duffel, so as to be inconspicuous, as with most other things when we're moving around. But as far as day to day, I think it is just underneath the headboard. There's a headboard that is not actually attached, and so it's just able to be kind of like slipped up, and you grab it out from under and then set it back down. Like you meant to screw it in, but now you're just kind of making it look like you never meant to.
Sounds good. What I was getting at was, does this live in the trunk of your car?
Oh,
If
no.
an incident turns up where you're on site and you realize you need your gun, will you have it on you?
I guess it depends what I'm on site for.
Yeah, it sounds to me like you have to plan to bring it along because it lives at home.
Yeah, yes. If I was being called out for to be prospected, so or for a job, then it would certainly be with me.
Yeah, for sure. But
Yeah.
for surprise, like
100%.
anything, no.
Yep.
All right, that sounds excellent to me, and I'll tell Jimmy when he gets back too. But Nick, Sam, Jimmy, if you guys need any non-incidental gear, we can talk about that now. Oh, hey, Jimmy, can you hear us? Yeah.
Yeah, I can always hear when I
Oh,
walk
hey,
away because I got the headphones.
fancy.
So.
Cordless, how nice. Did any of you want any non-incidental and or restricted gear that makes sense for your characters and backgrounds? And again, there's a whole mechanic for obtaining it, and if you fuck it up, it is bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would.
roll a 40% or go to jail check.
Yeah, I probably would not try to obtain anything unauthorized. I do have experience with heavy weapons and demolition, but I'm not going to try to sneak any of that stuff home.
There are non-restricted heavy weapons.
Hmm.
Specifically, there's a handheld flamethrower that is an unusual expense. It's like the one you can buy from what's his nuts, the shithead.
Who?
I dare say it is unusual. Yeah, Elon. It's a boring
Elon
company.
Musk was selling a.
You mean Leon Tusk?
Oh, God.
Forgot about that.
We're gonna get to that. Yeah, no. If you want to have,
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
if you're offering,
I am.
I will take.
It is an unusual expense, which means there's a potential for it to damage your financials or your relationships with the people you share financials with.
Interesting. How does
The
that
question
work?
is, can you pony up $5,000 without your wife figuring out? And the way you do that is either, so there's a couple ways you can do it. You can use illicit cash, you can use your own money, you can try and requisition it from the government, or you could try and obtain something on the black market if you wanted a restricted item. The easiest and safest thing for you to do would be to spend your own money, which all that happens is you say, I'm paying for an unusual expense, and the stress of spending this reduces one non-delta green bond by 1. You can then make an accounting test to have done this without hurting your financials by cleverly taking out credit cards, by hiding the trail.
That sounds like too much work. I have like a story way, but it wouldn't be quick. It'd be like,
What's the story way?
well, essentially I do a lot of shooting. So like just in my life, I have a pretty big budget for like ammunition anyway. Maybe say over the course of a couple of years, instead of shooting like, 500 rounds a week or whatever I normally do for practice, I just shoot 400. And then after a couple of years, I set that money aside and then I'm like, boom, flamethrower.
Yeah. So that's how you would get the unusual, if you want.
As you do.
can roll that accounting and then have that flamethrower.
It's a good plan. And hear me out. If you succeed on it, canonically, you're like one of the guys from the station in the thing, right? Like you're the fucking ski master
guy
with the
with-
daddy beard and the flamethrower.
Now, I will put it out here. If you're willing to risk restricted and a major expense, there is a general purpose machine gun on the... If you're a guns guy and you were in the military and you don't mind maybe retroactively going to jail...
Yeah, I
this
feel
is a
like
trap.
jail is not something that he's willing
This
to
is a
risk.
Okay.
Ruining my finances, I don't know what that means in terms of the game, because we've
It
never
has-
actually done that.
It has real effects. If you
Yeah.
go broke, you're going to have a really tough time later. You can get fired from your job. There's rules about being prosecuted, and there's rules about having Senate hearings. So
That sounds really boring.
Roll for
The
collections.
Yeah.
you're playing a game with a bureaucracy skill
Yeah,
as its own line.
it does. Yeah.
Welcome
my
to the
accounting's only
helplessness
10.
part
I'm
of
gonna-
horror.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to let that dream of being one of the flamethrower guys from the thing just remain a dream for now.
No, you can have it. You just damage your finances and your relationship with your wife.
Yeah, but I don't want to go
Okay.
to court.
I love it.
That's a thing.
I think that's a great
Decision.
character point. Is
Yeah.
like, no, I could do
Yeah.
this. I won't. Why would I
Yeah.
do that? And Magpie's
Chase-
like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chase
why wouldn't
really
I?
wants that flamethrower, but he's like, what am I going to do with it? Ski behind my trainees and be like, faster. Don't let the
Awesome,
flames get you.
So, does anyone else need restricted gear? Sounds like no.
I'm a
No.
wife guy. No thanks.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Sounds like a plan. Then, Sam, what is Mull's deal? Who is and was Agent Mull?
Yeah. So, Mull, or Leon Tusk, is a corporate director at BlackRock. So he does like mergers and acquisitions. So he's just like truly going in and doing corporate espionage. He grew up in the Seattle area, went to Yale for undergrad, Harvard for law school, was clerking with like a SCOTUS like track because he was seen as smart and charismatic. And then the minute he could, he got out of it and said, fuck it, I'm going to make money. And joined like a small corporate firm and then, moved his way up to corporate director at BlackRock. In the pandemic time, Mull lives on, and let me know if this doesn't make sense, but lives on Mercer Island, has a nice big house there. Yeah, that's what I thought. And, he's got like almost like a little bit of a compound. At this point in the pandemic, he's knee deep in his addiction that is going on like online forums on eBay and undercutting people for things he knows that they really love and like fucking buying it out from underneath them. So he's got in his like basement this computer set up and then just all of these fucking expensive tchotchkes. And it's purely just like he's, he like trolls forums for like, I don't know, snow globe collectors. And if he sees somebody who's like really looking for this one thing, he undercuts them and buys it out from underneath them, all just to like maintain some amount of like control.
Is he a freak too?
Yeah, total freak. Yeah.
Like, would he buy like access to a large number of people's webcams on the dark web so that he could watch their faces while he beat them to the buzzer?
100%.
Yeah.
The minute he found out that he could do something like that, it was like sweetening the pot that he could see like when you like didn't get like the item that like, makes you think about your father that you've been pining about on this online forum. He can watch it happen and he's like, fuck yeah.
Right.
I did that.
Some guy waltzed up. He's like, "Oh, baby, let me show you what I can do for you."
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
What is Leon Tusk's computer science?
50.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, he's not great.
All right.
Love it.
Horrendous. What's your personal pursuit?
He's gonna
cruelty for cruelty's sake.
Cruelty's for control's sake. He is forced to go to therapy, unfortunately.
By whom?
I think that he. What I had in my head.
Does he have a court injunction?
I don't think it's a court injunction because I think that
HR?
BlackRock, is like it tries to keep everything inside, and so BlackRock is like. He did something, said something off the wall because he's already kind of like on the edge there. Did something on one of these like, business trips when he was like trying to do mergers and acquisition shit and undercut somebody. And boom, like he got in trouble. They wanted to keep it in-house. So they hired some like therapist. He refuses to go see anybody because A, it's the pandemic, and B, it's Mull. And so they are doing it all over Zoom and he's taking it like not very seriously at all. It's like, clicking through
He's on
eBay.
The forums.
Yeah, he's on forums hunting. But I guess actually I say that, but I think there's probably a moment where he does have to take it somewhat seriously, right? And he reflects on something bad that's happened to himself, I would say. Because he's doing it like, I think they make him do like 6 sessions or something like that. And so the first couple, he's not taking it seriously at all. And then by the time, rolls around to the 6th session, he's like in the pandemic, like fully. And so he's not been able to talk to anybody. He's a people person, even if it's like being shitty to other people, he's still a people person. And so this has affected him in ways that he has no ability to figure out and like no introspection to figure out why this is like causing him suffering. And I think that like on that 3rd or 4th session, something actually comes out about like the violence he's seen.
Okay. Do you think, so I got a couple of questions for you, because go to therapy is like a whole ass half page.
I saw that. I know.
It is by far the most complex, and it is the only one that can actively damage NPCs and the systems around them.
Yeah.
So here, yeah, it's wild.
I wondered about that because that's an interesting idea that the therapist takes on the harm.
That you can damage your therapist's sanity if you choose to tell the truth. Telling the truth to your therapist makes the therapy better for you, at the risk of your therapist, 1, becoming harmed, 2, not believing you, and 3, becoming a threat to Delta Green. What are you doing? Are you truthfully telling your therapist the activities that caused you to lose sanity?
You know, I think that I'm just going to be real with what I think Leon would do, because I think that he is not meaning to do any of this stuff. And then the minute it gets down this rabbit hole of like talking about control, I even think it's probably because they start talking about all the shit that he's got in his background as like a way to get in with him.
Yeah, I see you've got snow globes back there. What
And he's like,
about?
you know, this one, this was Paulson 494. This is his father died with this, and I bought it, you know, right before, you know. And he's like showing off all these different like tchotchkes. And I think there's this moment, his trophies. There's this moment where like his eyes like almost glaze over, and it becomes he just starts like saying like the actual like weird shit that he's seen.
Okay, all right. So yeah, you're gonna tell the truth.
Yeah.
Give me what do you think? Are you paying for a high quality therapist, your teledoc?
Yeah, initially I had thought about like, was it like a BetterHelp kind of thing? You know, like, not to denigrate anybody, but like, you know, is it somebody that you're paying for that you have no idea? But my sense is that if it's like HR and the corporate director position requiring this, they have somebody on retainer who is probably used to hearing fucked up stuff.
Very highly paid.
Right, very highly paid. Okay. Maybe not the fucked up stuff that, you know, Leon's going to dump on them, but definitely at least like, you know, bad stuff.
Enough for him to be able to say, what am I paying you for?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, what are we really paying you for?
Yeah. So first give me persuade.
That's a 21 on an 80.
Okay. Yeah, the therapist believes you about the things you've seen and the things you're telling her. Yeah, give me a 75% psychotherapy roll.
22 on a 75.
Oh, is that a critical success?
It is.
Yeah, wow. Okay. You get 6 sand back
Hell
up to your limit. How far were you down?
Okay, so we discussed this, and I don't know what you think about this and what everybody else thinks about this. My current was 37. It says 40, but then in the rules it says the max is 99. Do you guys play that you can go over the 40 or not? I don't really care at all, so I'm just happy to have some sanity back.
I don't know that the rules say the max is 99.
I don't either. I thought I looked this up.
Well, it sounds like we also don't know that the rules say that the max is your starting value.
Therapy cannot increase sanity beyond the agent's power times 5.
Perfect.
Yeah,
okay, cool. That sounds good.
Times 5 always.
Okay, cool. That maximum sanity on the autocalc sheet trips me up because it's like your mythos. Because it's like your mythos minus your 100 minus your mythos.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool.
Well, that is true. Your max sanity can never be higher
than your mythos.
100 minus your unnatural skill.
Yeah, your unnatural, not your mythos.
Which is
called
true,
Cthulhu. Yeah.
But not helpful.
Yep. Okay, so I get 3 back.
Yes. And then, do you suffer from a disorder?
Well, yeah, I did, didn't I?
Did you?
No. Yeah, because every time I rolled, I had that.
It should be written on your sheet.
The megalomania.
Yeah, megalomania. That's right. Yep.
Okay. If your agent suffers from a disorder, a critical success on a therapy roll cures it.
My God. Leon is healed. This was a laying on hands.
This is maybe not a good thing. Your agent develops a bond with the therapist.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
Your agent's charisma.
Oh my God.
Cool. Oh, I love that. Okay, do we want to just make up a name for the therapist, or should I just write therapist?
Yeah, she needs a name.
Okay. Mackenzie Stillwater. I'm gonna write
perfect.
Therapist.
Last name is the practice name too. So
yeah. Yeah.
What's her slogan?
Your mind will be still as mind.
Oh yeah, that's it. Still still mind. Is that a half round up or down?
Sure, up.
It sounds good. 8.
Write cured next to the disorder on your character sheet. But do not erase it. The next time you gain a disorder, you must roll another secondary sand test. If that fails, the cured disorder returns in full force alongside the new one.
Okay, cool. I'm going to put cured.
Last but not least, can you make a sand check for Dr. Stillwater for me. That's going to be a 65%.
37 on a 65.
All
Fuck
right.
yes. Holy shit.
Okay. Yeah. It's
been- Pretty good downtime.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
good for Leon.
Downtime is really important for characters' survivability between
Yeah,
missions.
it is.
Can Moorison maybe send a message to Mull or send him a link to a message board about flamethrowers?
Antique flamethrowers.
Hey, you can really screw some guys on here.
Yeah,
Buy some of
me.
them flamethrowers with all your BlackRock money. I'm kidding. You don't have to. You can say no.
Nick, your mic is doing that thing again.
Yeah, what the hell, Nick?
It's a little wind tunnely.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's so strange because there's no ambient noise other than my PC, which is like far away. So I don't get it.
I wonder. It sounds like room tone. Quite honestly, like just the tone that you get in like a room. And so I feel like it's maybe just gain.
It's like I'm on like 1 gain right now.
That's wild because I have to turn my gain all the way up for this, and I feel like I may be quiet for you guys. Here, talk.
Yeah.
Can you?
I'm
I mean-
usually at like half and above, and it's like, yeah, never been like this. I don't know.
Odd. Jimmy, does Moorison want... You can totally ask Mull to buy you an expensive gun. And it's going to work exactly the same way, because if you piss off your teammate by asking to borrow $5,000, go for it, man. Yeah, totally. I'm here for that. Absolutely send that text.
I'll just send him a link to I'm not going to ask. I just
You're
know
just
that
gonna
this
send
is
a link?
Yeah, I just know that this is like a proclivity that he has, and I'm like, hey, flamethrower message board.
What are you going to do with that, Sam?
I think Mull is going to click it and then start browsing. And if there is anything on there that he seems like he can harm someone else with, then he's going to do it.
There's
All
a
right,
small
Jimmy,
municipality
roll straight
in.
luck.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's a 63.
No, these are weirdos, and they're all doing like weird kind of scammy things.
Yeah, soft sit people. Not to say the soft sit's weird. I am one, so.
Oh. I as in Sam, or?
I'm going to let you guess which one, if I'm the soft sit or Mull is.
Yikes.
I don't know if a corporate lawyer could be a soft sit. That doesn't quite line up.
It might for
too much
Mull if
knowledge
he's
of the
like,
law.
yeah, he's like, I understand these laws and I use them to harm people and better my situation, but they don't actually apply to me.
Yes, maybe, kind of. God, I'm playing a real piece of shit. I'm sorry, guys. It
I
was like you gave me a chance to be a character, and I just said, fuck it, huh?
No,
Yeah,
we're all here to
we-
support you.
Thank you. I
And Jimmy's
appreciate
the best guy we've ever met.
Yeah, I guess that's true, right? The yin and yang of hand on the door.
I do love at the top. I read when you gave me your character. I read the name, and I was like, "Please do not roleplay this. I cannot handle it." And so
You
far,
know.
you haven't.
Yeah, okay, cool. Just wait till I get my ketamine.
God,
Why do you think I'm working on pharmacy?
Fuck
We're-
yeah.
that's the end game here.
The end game is to get the ketamine.
Get
Get the
cat.
ketamine, get the girl. Well, I'm gonna go get some water if that's okay.
Yeah, let's take a second while we wait for Nick
Take
to
a
get
break.
back in.
Okay.
He'll come back and we're all gone. Oops.
Oh, he's back. I'm still gonna get water if that's okay.
We're gonna grab a cup of water, but Nick, let me see if I can hear your.
Yeah, there's a little ambience.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Cut
there
it in
is
post.
to do about it. Like, stay muted when you're not talking, I guess.
Yeah. Sure. Weird.
Sorry. All right, I'll be right back.
And so I finished Buffalo Hunter yesterday. Is good.
Yeah, it's
Buffalo
good.
Hunter.
Yeah, it's a book, and it's excellent.
What's it about?
It's about,
It's about
this.
500 pages.
Yes, I actually listened to the audiobook for this one, and they did some cool stuff with it. But essentially, it's a lady who gets contacted because somebody finds a journal from her like great-great-great-grandpa who was a pastor on like a frontier church in, I think it was Wyoming or Montana. I don't remember which. But she reads through this journal, and it's his account of like stuff that happened at the church, and it's really good.
Cool. Maybe I'll check it out. Hey, Sam, I had a couple of questions about how Mull is spending his pandemic. Do your wife and kids know you're down there in the therapy basement?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think so. I think that probably in the first couple maybe the first couple months of the pandemic, when flights and stuff were shut down, when I couldn't go anywhere, because they're used to me being gone constantly, I would say, like in and out of their lives. I think there was this period of time where we tried to pretend like we were like a family that like knew each other and did stuff. And then that quickly unraveled the minute I was like, they were exposed to me and I was exposed to them for like a continuous period of time. You know what I mean? So that probably took a couple weeks, maybe a month. And then we went through the stages of just fighting with each other constantly. And then finally I kind of just retired down to the basement where I've been pursuing stuff. So I think that they are like nebulously aware that I had to undergo some therapy for something that I did, in the right before the pandemic started. But I wouldn't say that they're like fully aware of what I'm doing down there. And now at this point, it's like, I'm imagining it's like we are doing the things that polite society requires of us. So we'll have like dinner together. Maybe we have like our chef make dinner and do stuff. But otherwise, we're not spending a whole lot of time with each other.
With your megalomania cured, how does your behavior change?
That's a good point. I think so. So we'll say, because I said it was like a couple sessions in, and we were doing like a session maybe every week or something like that. So we'll say that like 2 months into the pandemic, then after we have this kind of breakthrough, I start reevaluating other people, I guess in general, right? That people exist outside of me. I lose a little bit of that solipsism. And that's when he breaks from his cave, and his cave is still like got a bed. It's got like a shower. It's got like its own like mini kitchen. I mean, it's like a giant like area, like basement that he could basically live out of. I think comes upstairs, and actually takes his Atticus and Tiffany out to like fish for the first time. Something that maybe they did years and years ago, because Atticus is 15 and Tiffany's 13. So when they were younger, maybe 4 or 5, he would take them out fishing. And he has this like spark of insight, or this moment of like understanding that like these people exist outside of him and are actually like beholden to him. And it goes pretty awkwardly, I'd imagine, because, he's basically been gone for the last like 9 years of their life, more or less. But it's that like maybe beginning, I think, of like a relationship sparking again, because he's able to talk to them about like school. He's like, well, how are you even going to school if Zoom's, a thing or whatever? And he's finally learning some of these details. And that's like maybe the first kind of spark we see. And then maybe there is like a small scene where his wife sees him bringing them both in. And there's like this moment of like maybe connection there. I don't know how long lasting that's going to be given where he is, but there is that kind of moment where she sees, the guy that she married like 15 years ago.
Yeah. Awesome. I love it. That all sounds great to me. So let's jump into the scenario itself. It is the evening of August 15th, 2020. You all receive a summons in your usual ways. So Moorison finds rolled up instructions in the hollow of a tree on one of its roots after going through several trail closed signs. Mull gets an encrypted email, if I recall correctly, and has to dial in from the red phone in his basement. Miles, how does Miles get contacted?
Yeah, he goes.
Drop, right?
Yeah, it's a dead drop on his run route in Seward Park.
All right. He picks up his instructions, and Magpie goes ahead and receives an encoded Morse communication from the robotic baby robins that they installed in not his backyard, he lives on a houseboat, on his roof.
Yeah, it's not the most convenient, but it gets the job done.
At this point, how do you feel about the robotic bird's nest on your roof?
Well, it's more about like fending off the questions from strangers about the unseasonable times that they seem to be nesting, I suppose. But I'm not a ornithologist, so I don't have to answer too many of them. It goes okay for me. I don't feel like it's been going off too much. Like, when was the last time I even had to pay them any mind?
Yeah, sure. All right. You get a message, all of you, from Agent Madison. She has called you to meet her at the Anacortes Ferry Terminal, 8 a.m., August 16th, tomorrow. It is 8 p.m., August 15th now. What are you telling your families, if anything?
Yeah, I would say, hey, I got to go do a nuclear inspection on site out in Richmond. So it might be a few days. I'll call you as soon as I know. You know how these things go. And give her a hug and a kiss and kiss my son on his forehead and get on the road.
I'll taunt my sister and tell her that her misdeeds actually landed me a spot on a panel. And I'm talking at a pharmaceuticals conference over in such and such. And I'll be back whenever I damn well please.
She's surprised, but is actually really supportive. That's really cool to see you getting out there like that.
Yeah, well, thanks. It feels good to have something, real going again.
Yeah, Moorison tells his wife, I forgot to mention this when I was kind of doing the background on him, but I'd mentioned before, he does do search and rescue as well, kind of like backcountry search and rescue. And he tells his wife, with COVID, there's a lot of people interested in getting outdoors. We got a lot of people who don't really know what they're doing, going out on the mountain for the first time. Somebody got lost. I got to go look for them. Hopefully be back in a couple of days, but, might be a little bit longer. We'll see how it goes.
Sounds good.
I think Mull tells his wife that we're trying a new nature retreat amongst all the corporate directors. I'll probably be gone a couple days at least. So don't expect me to come back anytime soon, and then kind of pieces out.
All right.